Alright. I was gonna stream on Twitch, but said no. I'm not. What's good, Cantito? How you doing? Okay. I would do TP Metal Cartel, but we're gonna do something different. Sorry I missed the rest of the stream beforehand. Bro, it's all good. It's all good. This makes me feel so proud. So now I wait for people to come in. Because, look, the secret way to get more. This is how I grinded festival points. We do the same parallel quest 3 times. That gives the most points for the festival. Like parallel quest, look, the tour for parallel quests and TP, expert missions, it makes it so easy to grind.
In which armed parties of white men scoured the countryside, murdering African Americans, supposedly as retribution for the killing of the white planter.
What you mean, Candido?
Not uncommon in the Jim Crow South.
Okay, no, season 5 of. Hold on, something's going on.
Have been found in the Red River bottoms between New Boston, Texas, and Rocky Comfort, Arkansas. 2 of them having been hanged or shot to death. The third body was stripped entirely nude when found. A Negro who arrived here today says that every Negro in the neighborhood of Rocky Comfort and Richmond has left his home and is afraid to return.
This article reported on what is now known as the Little River County Race War. Can you imagine living through this?
Well, and New Boston is where my grandmother was from. And she had a brother who died.
Danny,
who died because of a land dispute with a white person who was murdered. And so to have that really in your backyard and to be so close to it personally in your life, and I just wonder if they ever lost that fear.
Unfortunately, Anita's grandparents would soon be faced with a daunting new problem. As they struggled to run their farm, they fell into debt and became heavily mortgaged to a local constable, a white man named Ernest Hale. By 1950, the value of the Elliott farm was well below the cost of their debts. So they sold their property to Hale and moved to Oklahoma. It was a decision that could not have been made lightly, but it paid off. The family took root in their new home. Anita herself would be born in Oklahoma more than 3 decades later, leading her to reflect on her grandparents' immense tenacity.
I think for some people it could have just been, this is so painful, and it could have stopped them dead in their tracks. But they moved on. it was just, they wanted something better. And they knew they were never going to get a fair shake where they were. And, you know, they picked up and moved hundreds of miles away to start all over again. They weren't, you know, children even at that point.
Yeah.
You know, they were a middle-aged couple with small children, but they moved. And maybe that's the only way that they were able to survive.
In the end, William and Ida secured their family's safety and security with this move. But in the process, they left their family's history behind. Indeed, Anita knew almost nothing about her maternal roots beyond her grandparents. Happily, we were able to reconstruct those roots through the use of DNA. We noticed that Anita shares DNA with many people in publicly available databases, all of whom trace back to one couple. And we found that couple in the 1870 census living in Bowie County, Texas. Could you please read their names?
Grandison Lewis and Penny.
Have you ever heard those names before? Grandison, Penny, or the surname Lewis? Well,
okay, what's up, RBG? So, and someone in...
One set of Ida's grandparents.
What you planning? Wait, what you mean?
Your great-great-grandparents.
I literally don't know what you're talking about, Candido.
Wow.
What's it like to see that?
I can't explain it, but it really just goes to something deep inside me that feels like I'm connected. I mean, a real feeling of connection. And
I truly don't know what you're talking about.
And I have a name and a location.
Yeah.
And where they were. I didn't know where they were.
Right.
It's wonderful. It really is wonderful.
We'd already identified Brittany Packnett Cunningham's grandfather, James Coble, introducing her to an entire branch of her family tree that she'd never even heard of before. And we were just getting started. James's grandmother, Brittany's great-great-grandmother, was a woman named Hortense Hayes.
Yeah, so Rival season 5, it's supposed to be a season of love.
And his 7 siblings, living with their parents, Newman and Mary.
Please pick the one that...
Great-grandparents on your father's line. You just met 3 more generations of your
family I didn't even know existed.
Of your grandfather, and from whom you have inherited DNA. This is your biological kid.
Wow. This is incredible. It just means something different to go from saying our ancestors, my elders, our elders,
Yeah.
to saying Lafayette.
You gonna pick a parallel quest?
And James. Wow.
And your father descends from them?
He's looking down from heaven right now going, oh, so that's who my people are. Wow.
This census indicates that Brittany's 3rd great-grandfather, Lafayette, was born in Tennessee in 1861, meaning that he and his parents and elder siblings were almost certainly born into slavery. We now set out to see how they experienced this terrible time. We suspect they were all forced to work in the fields, likely on a small farm, but we aren't certain. What we do know is that in early 1864, with the Civil War raging, they were free as the Union Army occupied Tennessee. And at that point, 2 of Brittany's relatives did something remarkable. Muster rolls show.
So you gonna dress up as Gambit? Imagine.
Ebenezer and James P. Hayes
Could not be beat
joined the Union Army. Your 3rd great-grandfather
Wait, huh?
was young to serve, but his brothers served
Did he...
in the United States.
Wait, did he actually revive for a second?
What's it like to see that?
That didn't happen before. That's crazy.
Both proud and angry.
Why are you angry?
I'm angry that they had to step up to fight for freedom that belongs to them. And I'm incredibly proud to know that I cover people who run toward the fight.
James and Ebenezer volunteered on February 13, 1864, in Pulaski, Tennessee. Both men were assigned to the 111th Regiment of the United States Colored Troops, which was almost immediately thrown into battle, moving south from Tennessee to the heart of the Confederacy. It must have been thrilling to bear arms against slavery. His story was about to take a trip.
Funny enough, I actually have a long brown trench coat.
111th
I
would be ravaged by the
I would need to get one.
Ebenezer died in an Army hospital just months after enlistment, May of 1864, at Athens, Alabama.
He signed up for freedom. He has courage that my generation has thankfully never been asked to display at that level because other generations did.
Alright, dead.
And yet instill
I might wear it
a profound
when the season drops.
striking.
And think about this, remember Ebenezer and his brother were in the same regiment, 111th, so James...
See, I'm not that hyped for season 5 though. Knowing that there's gonna be another fan favorite DPS, all that means is everyone is gonna play DPS next season. Like, we're gonna have another Daredevil situation.
Enslavement is unnatural, right? Then you lose your brother fighting alongside him for freedom. There's no possible way this ever just makes sense.
James had little time to process his loss. In September of 1864, Athens, Alabama was attacked by Confederate forces led by Nathan Bedford Forrest, a ruthless cavalry general and a notorious racist. Just months earlier, Forrest had overseen the massacre of black troops following the surrender of Union forces at Fort Pillow, Tennessee. After the war, he helped found the Ku Klux Klan. And now, Brittany's relative was in his crosshairs. A newspaper from the era tells us what happened next.
I got a little bit left. Yo, what's up, Card? Just took a small dose of Zyquil. Okay. You need that rest, huh?
Which was one of the strongest in the district. The post had portions of the 111th United States Colored Troops. We have no details of the surrender and do not know what resistance, if any, was made. Wow. I just wonder, was he scared? Was he angry? Was he determined? Was he fed up? I can't imagine.
Oh, you're gonna wear it when season 5 drops and talking to Cajun accent? Okay.
Confederate prison camp in Meridian, Mississippi. The end of the war was looming. He and his family must have hoped he would survive to see it. But those hopes were dashed.
James P. Hayes, February 16, 1865, Meridian, Mississippi, died while a prisoner of war. Cause bad treatment of the enemy. Well, he did all that just for it to kill him.
The Confederacy treated prisoners of war abysmally, particularly black prisoners of war. They endured cramped living quarters, rampant disease. Some were also...
I am conquering my biggest health problem of night binge eating by going to sleep early. Okay, when did that problem start, Candy? I mean, Card Limit. I'm gonna call you just Card.
Ultimate sacrifice for your freedom and mine.
choice they never should have had to make.
No.
Oh, wait, Super Saiyan?
Brave one.
Nope, Gogeta.
What's it been like to hear their stories?
Oh, yeah. I find myself struck by the cruelty of our history. And, wondering what kind of thing. Their lives were very literally stolen. And so is every other enslaved person's. And I often ask myself to imagine what life is beyond oppression.
I've seen a pattern since Emma. Everyone plays the new characters for about a week or so.
Wonder what the answer to that question would like for them.
That's very true.
They had made it to the other side.
Right.
What was the kind of life they wanted?
Like they dreamed of. James and Ebenezer are among the roughly 40,000 African Americans who died serving the Union. Their loss was not entirely in vain. The brothers were awarded pensions for their service. Pensions that helped support their mother and father, Brittany's fourth great grandparents, as well as their siblings into the 1880s. Giving the family a measure of financial stability, many newly freed African Americans were unable to obtain.
Since I started psychiatric medicine when I was a teenager, it's a strong side effect.
Central Baptist used to do children's story time. Because like a liberation theologian story time would be a little Bible mixed in with some social justice, black power, yeah. I have a feeling he would have made some of these stories in. Yeah.
We'd already traced Anita Hill's maternal roots back to her great-great-grandfather, Landison Lewis, who was born into slavery and was living in Bowie County, Texas when the Civil War ended. Now we wanted to see if we could find any evidence of his life during slavery. This posed an extremely difficult challenge to our genealogists. Enslaved people
I was
never
not
listed
looking
by
at the
name in
screen.
the federal census, because denying them their names, the key part of a person's humanity, was a way of reinforcing the fiction that they were property, a fundamental part of the slave system.
I'm at 23K now in festival points. Yeah, I need to lock in with festival.
The entire United States chose to record the names of enslaved people. Utah County, Utah, Scott County, Tennessee, and Bowie County, Texas.
Wow. How is that? How does that? I mean, this is like the winning the lottery here.
You have won a genealogical jackpot. And it's because some county clerk or census taker
The one that might get played more is Rogue.
to write
Okay, here's the thing. Rogue definitely will get played more, but people are not going to play her as a healer. That's one.
United States
And two,
did
if she comes with gambling,
it happened where your great-great-grandfather was living, and that's why you were able to see his name.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
That is a miracle. According to the census, in 1850, Grandison was one of 22 people enslaved by Charles Lewis, a white farmer who ran a large plantation in Bowie County. So Anita now knew the name of the man who enslaved her ancestors, prompting some decidedly mixed emotions.
In some way, it humanizes him, but in some way, it dehumanizes him. Because, how could you be a human being who could sit and articulate and own this?
Need a heal.
And say that you were owning people.
Well, she can't be what Ultron was.
Public document cannot feel
I mean, think about it though.
about it. I think I felt quite a bit of anger for Charles. But then, you know, anger can't be limited. It's a system that allowed it.
A system that held Anita's ancestors in bondage would soon come to an end. In May of 1865, the Union Army entered Texas. By that time, Anita's great-great-grandparents, Grandison and Henry Lewis, had had 7 children together. It's hard to imagine the joy they must have felt to see freedom finally come. Unfortunately, they were about to face a fresh ordeal. As we saw in a complaint detailing the abuses that newly freed African Americans in Boone County suffered at the hands of a white planter named Warren Hopes.
Esquire took my brother Alex and took his pants down and laid him on the ground and did severely beat him in my presence.
Yes. Yeah.
And in the same year and month, he did take one Grandison
a little girl. She was like that little girl.
and watched him and blood on his head. Because he said Grandison and not all.
Oh man. She's back home now.
In the fall of 18
Tomorrow, the last day for boosted TP. I gotta make sure I do a Cartel then.
with a grub and his fist and whipped her son Spencer, 13 years of age.
Grub is a fool.
Really? Wow. From the Carol.
Yeah. This is 3 years after the end of slavery, but they're still being treated as if they're slaves.
Like, folks own them.
How do you think your ancestors responded to this? They were basically being terrorized.
And he probably felt vulnerable. But maybe to survive, they just became numb to it. I think that would have been a natural reaction to something that you live with every day, something so brutal that you live with every day, but you know you can't do anything about, and no one else is going to do anything.
Anita's ancestors may well have been frightened. They didn't give in to those fears. Quite the contrary. In the summer of 1867,
Well, I guess.
despite the threats
So, Candido, what I'm probably gonna do is probably wait. I'm probably gonna wait for people to be awake.
Bowie County.
That's what I'll do. I'll just wait for people to be awake. So, for now, we'll do our regularly scheduled TP metal grinding.
Even in his despair, he still wanted to claim his rights.
What is wrong?
And that's, like, yeah, that really
Boy,
is-
you gotta stop saying that.
that's just
I'm a human being.
personal courage.
Look at me, bro.
Still believe
But boy,
that you could do,
it's very saucy
that you could do.
to see you. How you doing, buddy? How you
How does
doing?
it feel to see that?
Oh, I gotta check on my package.
Other part of it is so awful and so depressing.
It's not out yet. It
It
seems.
makes me so angry. But you see this and you realize that they still had an investment that in their own future and their own well-being. That they didn't just give up. And they still had a belief in the system. You know, I don't know how they kept that. I don't know how. Given that you were under physical threat
Bowl is basically Frieza and Zamasu,
and believe in a system
like mixed together.
that really wasn't intended to
69,
protect you.
July 30th.
No. But it's obvious that you believe that if you can both and you voted. It changes his
Right.
incredible.
Yeah, I think you still believe.
As it turns out, Anita's ancestor was not only idealistic, he was supremely pragmatic, as evidenced by a series of tax records from Bowie County, which, taken together, tell an astonishing story.
1889, assessment of property owner. Grandison Lewis, original grantee. Charles Lewis. Acre 60, value 120 pounds. Wow.
In 1874, 9 years after slavery ended,
Okay.
my great-grandfather became the oldest.
So, how do we feel about the Wolverine skin, by the way? How y'all feel about that?
He purchased an additional 60 acres of land that was originally granted to Charles Lewis, the man who had once owned him. We believe your ancestor actually purchased part of the land from which he had been previously enslaved.
Yeah, that's some justice.
What's it like to see that?
I'm just in awe and of the ability and my willingness to just to stick in there and keep pushing for your rights and getting what's due to you.
I wanted to grind TP metals all day, but I slept all day. Did you wanna grind tomorrow? We can grind some TP metals.
The paper trail had run out for each of my guests. It was time to unfurl their family trees, now filled with names they'd never heard before.
What kind of active fraud?
Oh my gosh. I know to some people, you go back 1,000 years. To me, this is like going back 1,000 years.
It is for an African American.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing it tonight, and tomorrow after I come back from the gym, okay, bet.
Seeing their ancestors laid out before them, stretching back centuries, allowed each to reflect on the women and men who had done so much to lay the groundwork for their success. What do you think you've inherited from these people?
Well, I'd like to hope.
Yeah, so this is gonna be.
And really the ability to claim citizenship. And what it's taught me is that that's a legacy that I have to continue. Whether it's using your voice or whether it's pushing your rights, it's something that I have now a birthright to.
Okay.
That's who plants the same grab ass with.
Completely unbreakable.
Yeah. What do you mean?
They survived. They stayed together. They birthed generations that were not supposed to see the sun. That probably doesn't match the feeling that I thought I was going to have.
No.
But I feel completely unbreakable.
That's the end of our journey with Brittany Cunningham and Anita Hill. Join me next
He looks similar to Weapon X, Logan. Yeah.
for new guests.
I won't lie, I think it fits. Even though Wolverine turns into Akuma, he looks cool. He's just a furry +1 now.
These are the times that tried men's souls.
Our cause is the cause of all mankind.
Come on.
Furry +1 is
Is available with PBS Passport and on Amazon Prime Video.
Blood pressure, bro. Any
For
pop?
Season 8 of Finding Your Roots was provided by...
We always have questions. Who we belong to? Who are our ancestors?
What
I
kind of
know
music?
we have them.
I found an immigration record.
Logan don't deserve that.
As a nurse,
Hey. If we're being honest, right?
Johnson & Johnson, proud sponsor.
I feel like there's different characters who deserve some of these powers.
Working with visionaries on the front line of social change worldwide. The Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation, the comic book version of New and its members, Campus Gateway High. The Lloyd Carney Foundation, Jim and Susan Swartz, Sheryl Sandberg and Tom Bernthal, Ann Wojcicki, David Allen Draper, Nicole Commission, and Darnell Armstrong. Major funding was provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by generous contributions.
Hey, so I'll ask you, Candido, who on the roster deserves it?
Join us for the rehab covered television telethon.
I don't know. I'm curious to see the other avatars in action. I want to see. I want to see other avatars in action.
Yes, SoCal. We were just waiting on the edge of a knife. When are we going to get to this?
I wasn't worried about getting shot or getting wounded. I was worried about the guys to my left and right. I told him that I wanted to go, and he looked at me and said, "Son, you're gonna die."
Monday at 10 on PBS SoCal.
The Lycon Solar Farm.
Executive order. Good evening. I'm Jeff Bennett.
And I'm Amna Vaz.
I'm Margaret Hoover. I'm Christiana Moncourt in London.
Bring us up to speed.
The Logan being called a furry is definitely uncalled for. Are you sure? I mean, bro, why did they give him that tail? They could have just left that out of there. But that Kunlun skin for Angela, I need that. High key. That skin looks really cool. La Bomba. Cotton Buck. Sounds racist.
If this is what we're gonna start breaking the ice, then let's do it.
I don't know anything, never had none of that, none of it, nothing. Or anything pertaining to it.
But if you look at that,
Ever wonder what happens to your car when you don't need it?
everything's
Be taken care of. What if donating could give you access to more of the television?
I want to
We use the proceeds to
Okay.
donate.
What Super Soul am I using? Should be Foo Super Soul. Nothing crazy. Yeah, Foo Super Soul. Right then, let's begin the experiment. It's just a Saiyan, Super Saiyan Blue evolved.
They will take care of the rest. Thank you. Yesterday's operation was
You did a good job, man.
3 tons of gold.
Also, what's up, Steady? Sorry. You know what, dude?
What the fuck happened? You real quick?
Candido, I'll be honest, man. I probably should have just waited until tomorrow, cause I'm starting to get hella tired. Yeah, I'm starting to get hella tired.
This you gonna eat.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow.
Right.
Are these objects pretty?
I just thought it was the most beautiful thing.
Or pretty ugly?
You're kidding.
No, you still think it's ugly?
What do you think? Watch Antiques Roadshow. Pretty or pretty ugly? Monday at 8 on PBS SoCal.
One masterpiece.
You just think me in chains. I still won't have nothing to say.
Breaks my goal is to save money for the greatest criminal fortune in history. The Xenoverse is and everyone is about to find
The season finale on Masterpiece.
Sunday at 10 on PBS SoCal. Supporters of PBS SoCal POCE include the following.
Yo, Lava, how you doing? What's good? What's good?
With a very special live concert performance.
Okay, so tomorrow,
What?
we're gonna grind multiplayer mode, parallel quest tour. Drink coffee, bro. It is 9:00 p.m. right now.
Thank you,
Yeah,
America.
so some of these fits were, yeah. I mean, when Custom pointed it out. It's like, yeah, bro, these fits trash. Like a large amount of them are. And it's like for example, the baby one, we should have got like at least 3 different color options, but no. But Lava, okay. Next time, I'm gonna let you in on high key what we did. Parallel Quest Tour. Do this with custom. Do Parallel Quest Tour with custom. Get 2 other people. You all run the same mission. You'll get more points. You'll get more points by doing that. I got 2 drinks of Coca-Cola. Yo, could I Coca-Cola less loading, right? Yeah. And I'm telling Lava, it's low key. Look, nobody knows this yet. Nobody knows this tech yet, Lava. I'm gonna tell you because you gang. And gotta get custom on it because he can spread the word. He can spread the word quick. Because right now, I did. So Lava, I've been doing that offline, off the stream. Let me show you where I'm at right now. Obviously not really crazy because I just started.
We're going to give them the answers they've been searching.
Yeah, I just started. So I'm at 40. I'm at 4K right now. And my placement, because for some reason they thought it was a good idea to put important clothes behind a rink.
Corporate funding for season 10 of Finding Your Roots was provided by.
In our family, there was a passion for glassmaking that's passed down.
Man, getting rank 1 to rank 500 is gonna be difficult.
Each person is a glassworker.
Should have just been to 20K. Should have. It should have. Like that basically means, honestly, if we being for real, Vegeta's normal clothes ain't worth it. We literally got Vegeta clothes last time. Bandai, you got it, King. No, and then look at this. The only thing that's worth it here is Goku's damaged turtle hermit gi. Nothing else here is worth it. Like the only reason I'm gonna get to like this, because I mean it's a new Super Soul, but the star coins, but everything else is ass. Like, how is it that one item here is worth it? Now, what do we know about these Super Souls? Here's the thing. I kind of want to. I know there's a modder out there who probably showed off these Super Souls already, because I want to see it. Because if they're not worth it, I don't even want to get it. I just want clothes. But it's like the clothes they chose are so trash. Goku's damaged gi is the only one.
It's changed the way America sees itself.
I only grind for the star coins. At this point, the star coins are important, man.
Black people in our country, from slavery to outer space, giving us a glimpse of our nation's tragic past, while pointing us towards a more hopeful future.
Oh yeah, I'm also gonna start something, Candido.
U.S. Army base in West Germany, where his parents' troubled marriage years old, and his mother made a decision that would remake her family.
My mother and
Okay, I'm gonna start something, can't do though. Her outfit tough. It was. I had to tell him.
to begin our lives without.
So I want to do something that I'm gonna call content appreciation.
But I don't go like
And
that.
it's something that I just started to do, but I just want to go around and spread kindness to other time patrollers. And I know that sounds crazy, and that sounds like a pointless waste of time, but it's just a good way. How is Universe 6 and Universe 11 not beating us? I thought Universe 7 had the lowest points.
Made sure that her children,
Like we said before, y'all got Make-A-Wish bonus points because everybody was choosing Universe 7.
luck was on his side.
Now look,
LeVar was a sophomore, studying theater at USC, when the producers of Roots began looking for an actor to play Cookie.
it just means anybody in Universe 7 is putting in work, bro.
Their story.
I was in the
Go to location lookup and scroll to the bottom.
that they were casting, they being these people in Hollywood.
Oh,
They
right.
were young black kids. There were 3 of us in the drama department, and we all went to what turned out to be Lynn Stallmaster, a legendary casting director's office, for what they called back in the day a ghost scene. Go to this address and see the people there.
Wait, are these the Super Souls?
LeVar's beginning was bigger
Once
than
only when
anyone could
when opponent
possibly
uses an
ever
ultimate attack. Yeah, I gave up. I don't even want to read the rest.
imagine.
What is
One of
this?
the highest rated series in the history of
Bro,
television.
what? Stop giving us. Oh, this only activates once when the opponent uses a specific skill. Stop that. Just give us stuff that constantly. It's the bottom 2? Okay.
In 1980,
When succeeding, adjust guard. Okay. Well, this is for PvP. Restore stamina. What? Can be used up to 3 times.
12 Emmys.
Boost the strength of all attacks, and all the attacks of the opponents can be stacked to 3 times.
As well as to his own.
That's weird.
Looking back,
Why would they do that? Who would use this?
When I get asked this, it's always I get a catch in my.
Nobody's
in my
using
throat
this.
Because,
Oh my god, of course. Once only when ally gets KO'd.
The impact that it's had on the planet. Some 50 plus countries around the world
Restores health.
universally embraced as-
When an
as
ally gets
an important
KO'd,
story
temporarily
for humanity.
activates health auto recovery
But it's
mode.
really reading
Okay, so when an ally gets KO'd,
that's the first
so
time in my
that
life-
part is always going to be active.
Yeah, I was the producer of Reading Rainbow.
Wait, that's still.
Tribute to my mom and
I feel like that's still trash. Because when are you going to use this Super Soul?
Having an impact on the reading habits of a couple of generations of human beings. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, I don't see the point of
is
this.
Wes Studi, the first Native
And plus,
American
don't we
to
have
win an
capsules?
Academy Award for acting.
And even if we
Much
don't
like
have
Harvard,
capsules,
Wes has changed our nation's
man,
perception.
we have skill. We have a literal ultimate that heals us.
On screen, an accomplishment that no one could have envisioned when he was growing up. Wes was born in the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma, the child of a single mother. His youth was defined by a series of upheavals, beginning when he was just 5 years old, and he was sent to live at a school for Native children more than 40 miles from home. When he returned, he found himself an outsider.
Wait, that's so
I learned
bad.
English, but when I went home for the summer, I tried speaking English.
Why are we getting Super Souls that are only temporary?
and was shut down.
I don't know. Meanwhile, they drop Golden Frieza's Super Soul, which we kind of need to test how broken this is.
Speak charity again so I could eat.
This experience would set a tone for much of Wes's early life as he struggled to find his path, changing jobs and homes often, being forced constantly to adapt to new circumstances. Indeed, Wes was in his mid-30s and working as a rancher outside of Tulsa, Oklahoma, when a failed marriage drove him to discover his true calling.
I went back to Tulsa, and a good friend of mine, Jay Whitecrow, he said, I asked him, I just got divorced, and I wonder what to do when I'm meeting people. So I said, hey, I got just the things with American Indian Theater Company. Check it out. So that developed. We began to be cast in things, and we worked on plays, and after a while we mounted the plays and did them any place that we could. A lot of like old folks' homes, and any place we could get into that had a little stage. Didn't even need a stage of it. What was it about it that appealed to you?
It's fine, not as broken as it seems.
One of the scariest
It's because of the temporary stuff. If it wasn't temporary.
Being able to step out from the wings to mark
now,
on the stage.
Now imagine this with like a death beam.
It's terrifying. Yeah. It's like traveling through a jelloized air that you just.
Actually, this Super Soul with a death beam could be crazy.
Hello, Mr. Johnson. How's your family?
Oh, you know what? I need to test something.
In less than a decade after
because that made me realize something. Not only are we using a death beam, we're gonna use a freaking Dodon Ray. If it works with Dodon Ray, we gotta talk about it, because that's gonna be broken in PvP.
Portraying characters in almost every genre, continually expanding his range and breaking down barriers for native performers. In 2021, this journey came full circle when Wes took a role on Reservation Dogs, the first television series to feature all indigenous writers and a largely indigenous cast. The series not only proved to be
the first form, Frieza Super Soul that boosts super attacks by XL is better for damage. Definitely.
It's kind of heartwarming. And it's also
it's definitely better for damage.
I like to think that
Android X. Okay.
My career has had an influence for people to want to do this and to say, and to give it a shot.
Definitely. They must tell you that all the time.
Okay. But, yeah, to watch the excitement of these young people, it's the kind of excitement that I felt 30 years ago, you know?
That's a rush.
Yeah. And you can see it on their faces and their reactions and everything, and they're...
Yeah, and you deserve a lot of the credit, man. You made a difference.
Now, does it work for...
Americans in film without them.
Okay, I'm retired.
I'm thinking there's a way to make it broken.
My two guests have followed very different paths to fame, but they share something profound.
Yeah.
Both grew up knowing little to nothing about entire.
Does it work for Dodon Ray? It works for Dodon Ray.
Time for that to change. I started with LeVar Burton and with his mother, Irma Jean Ward. Irma raised her children on her own after her divorce, a Herculean task. How did she compensate for the absence of a father? Because she had to be mother and father?
She had to be both. Right. Not an uncommon story in the Black community. She did the best she could, you know. All through Catholic schools. Made sure we had the education that we could argue with her, right?
She's an amazing person.
She was. She was.
Did she tell you much
Why does it
about her roots?
No, it was very difficult to get stories of her upbringing. Impossible. She never wanted to share any of her history.
Well, let's see what we found out. We don't know why Irma was so reserved, but as we dug into her family tree, we uncovered a story that
Test Super Souls that gradually drain key.
It begins with her maternal grandmother, LeVar's great-grandmother.
I want to test some of these new Super Souls, because the temporary... There's no reason to use a temporary Super Soul. Because we have...
told that she had Native American ancestors.
We have Super Souls that literally...
But after analyzing LeVar's DNA, we realized that Mary's roots were much more complicated than she could have imagined. And Mary's Social Security application, filed in the year 1940, shows that she may not have even known her own father.
Name, Mary Silver, Bradshaw, age 48.
Yeah.
Place of birth unknown, North Carolina. Father's name, Louis.
It's on its way. It's one stop away.
That record gave us the names of Mary's parents, her great-great-grandparents. Okay. But here's where things get interesting. Our analysis of
Meteor
DNA,
crash? Oh.
Louis Sills, the man listed here as Mary Jane's husband, was not the father of your great-grandmother, Mary Sills.
Wow.
So you never heard anything about this?
No.
LeVar's DNA shows that he has no close genetic connection to anyone in the publicly available DNA databases who descends from Louis Sills. Instead, these same databases contain multiple matches that link LeVar to the descendants of a man named James Henry Dixon. And as we built out the family trees of these matches,
there's certain one I want to
was Mary's
use.
biological father. What's more, we soon saw why this had been kept secret.
Dixon James H., head of household, white. Age 57, occupation farmer. Lucy, wife, white. Age 43, William, son, white. Age 22, William, son, white. Age 10, Will, granddaughter, white. Age 2 months.
You don't want that. What's that?
Wow.
Nope.
Mary's father was
a white man.
Married, living with children, and he was a white man.
And she
Let's
was
see, what else
There
could
you
you
go.
try?
Were you expecting that? Did you have any idea you had a white direct ancestor?
Okay, we'll try those.
No, I had no idea. So Granny was half white.
I'll try Meteor Crash after.
Wow.
We don't know anything about the nature of the relationship between
Golden
Mary's
Frieza's
parents.
old Super
There are
Souls
simply
are still
no
good,
records to guide
and they're
us.
permanently
But now that
active.
we've
Yep.
identified her father, we can
It's crazy
research
because
his
Golden,
life.
well,
We
Frieza in general
discovered
doesn't,
he was born in Edgewood
I don't think there's a
County,
Frieza
North
that has a bad Super
in
Soul.
1847, meaning that as a teenager.
Okay, it doesn't stop the drain, I see.
In 1861, when he was 14 years old, the American Civil War broke out. Weeks later, his native North Carolina
Wait,
joined
that
the Confederacy.
that actually does kind of stop the drain for a little bit. You see that?
Turn the page.
I'm shaking.
Hold on, let me transform.
Lord, this is a muster roll dated June 1864. Would you please read the transcribed portion?
Confederate J.
Put that
H.
on
Dickerson,
normal.
Private, Captain J.W. Granger's Company, Reserve Force, Junior Reserves, North Carolina.
Yeah, the drain on that is not. Ooh,
Occupation farm.
the drain on that is not bad.
There's your great-grandfather. His surname is misspelled as Dickerson, right? But it wasn't. It was Dixon.
Wait, endless shot with this is not bad.
Confederate Army shortly after he turned 17. So you have an ancestor.
Because it's basically like a. Okay, Neo Wolf and Chris.
That's true.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I did not see this coming.
The junior reserves were not a combat unit. They were
Come
primarily
on, just send
used for
it.
guard duty
I can't.
to
What
free
do you
up
mean you
experienced
can't?
soldiers for the front lines. So we
Okay.
don't believe that Lamar's ancestors
What's the
were
issue?
bad. Regardless,
I already
the fact
asked that.
remains
But you didn't
that as
tell
a
me.
young man, James served to protect
What's the
slavery.
issue? Tell me.
But as an adult,
Don't just
he
wait.
fathered a child with an African American woman
No,
who
tell
had
me
been
what's the
born
issue.
into slavery, leaving LeVar to ponder that paradox.
I often wonder about white men of the period and how they justified to themselves their relations with black women, especially those in an unbalanced power dynamic, there has to be a powerful disconnect created emotionally and mentally.
Yeah.
So it's possible, in my mind, that he could have contemplated it and was conflicted at worst, maybe repentant at best. And then there's a possibility that he didn't think about it at all.
Right. And we'll never know.
Yeah.
They could have been in love. They could have been something terrible. We don't know.
Right.
But there's one more thing I want to share. Would you please turn the page?
That's him.
You are looking at your great-great-grandfather, James Henry Dixon. It's difficult to make out, but that is your biological great-great-grandfather.
Now, I'd have fought you 5 minutes ago if you told me that I had a white great-great-grandfather.
You do. You can fight me, but it's the truth. And ain't nothing you can do about it.
What? Kunta got white ancestry.
That's right.
What?
Yeah.
Not Kunta.
You know, you took 2 DNA tests. The 2 major commercial DNA tests almost never have tested an African American who was 100% sub-Saharan African. We all had white ancestors.
But this is close.
That's right. But this is close, and by name. LeVar's great-great-grandfather died in 1906. Our research shows that he had at least 9 children and more than 40 grandchildren, meaning that LeVar has an extensive network of white cousins whose roots stretch back centuries in the American South.
This is insanely surprising. I mean...
How does it make you feel? Confederates in the family.
Well, there's some conflict roiling inside of me right now, but it also, oddly enough, I feel a pathway opening up. I have wanted for a long time, knowing what I know about the history of this nation. I've wanted, especially in this current time frame, in this now moment. I believe that as Americans, we need to have this conversation about who we are and how we got here. But yet I see that we're so polarized, politically and racially.
Right, we're not talking to each other.
We're not talking to each other. And so I've been looking for an entry point to talk to white America.
Well, that door just opened.
There it is.
Yeah. Much like LeVar, Wes Studi was about to discover an entirely new branch of his family tree. But his story begins closer to home. Wes grew up not knowing the identity of his biological father, a mystery that shaped his childhood.
In the 50s and 60s, being illegitimate was a big deal. Not on the positive side. And I was teased about that. I'd say things like, I don't have that. And kids would say,
What did your mother tell you about who was your father?
She gave me a name. And she said it's on your birth certificate. And that's about it.
Unless you have some
the name on Wes's birth certificate was Eugene Philpott, a man who was roughly the same age as Wes's mother, and who had been raised near her in the Cherokee Nation. Wes grew up believing that Eugene was his biological father. But when he sought him out as a young adult, the response he received was not what he'd expected.
He was at a little cafe there having coffee. I walked in and I don't know if we had arranged it or not, but in any case, sat down with him and he just immediately said, I know what you're going to ask me, but no, I'm not.
Huh.
And we left it at that.
Did you just get up and walk away?
Yeah.
Well, how did he know that you thought he was your father?
Maybe I said something to him before.
Okay.
Maybe I said, I think you're on my birth certificate or something like that, or my mom said that you're on my birth certificate. He said, yep, I know that, but it's not true.
Huh.
There was something to that effect. He denied. Yes.
Did you follow it up at all, or just you let it go?
Yeah.
Well, that must have been painful.
No, actually, it was. I saw him, and I said to myself, I don't want to look like that.
As it turns out, Wes's feelings were based on more than his instincts. Eugene Philpott is not his father. The two men have no significant matches in the publicly available DNA databases. But this is where our research got complicated. Wes's DNA links him to the descendants of a couple named Jesse and Katie Blair. They are Wes's paternal grandparents, meaning that one of their sons is Wes's biological father. But although they had two sons who were the right age to have conceived the child with Wes's mother, there just wasn't enough DNA evidence to distinguish between them. So rather than identify his father, we presented Wes with two candidates. You're looking at Jess and Bobby Blair. Jess is on your left, and Bobby is on your right. The photo of Jess was likely taken when he was about 19 years old. The photo of Bobby on your right was likely taken when he was in his 70s or his 80s. You were looking at your biological father. We just don't know which one it is. But one of these men, beyond the shadow of a doubt, is your father. Do you see a resemblance?
Maybe the eyebrow. How old is this guy?
Jess he was 19 in 1943. Yeah, during the middle of World War II.
He has huge ears.
Is that a family trait?
He has big ears.
What's it like to put names and faces to a secret that's been hidden from you for your whole life?
In a way, I'm dumbfounded by I asked the question, got the answer, and now I'm dumbfounded. Without words, really.
But that's normal. Although Wes didn't recognize them, he may well have seen the Blair brothers during his childhood. Bobby and Jess were both born in the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma and spent much of their lives there. Sadly, both men are deceased, so a reunion is impossible. What's it like to learn this?
Well, in one way, it's kind of disappointing, and another way, it's kind of a relief.
This we know about.
At least I know they were human.
Well, you know, they were human, and you know their names. And you know the names of your grandparents.
Yeah, a whole side of the family. Yeah.
Just opened up. We now turned our focus to the Blair family and encountered some tortured history. Wes's direct paternal line traces back to George Blair, a half-Cherokee farmer who owned enslaved men and women in North Carolina. And then to George's father, Wes's third great-grandfather, a man named James Blair. James was born in Virginia in 1761, the child of white settlers. As a young man, during the Revolutionary War, James led troops against the Cherokee Nation, then later had a child with a Cherokee woman. So what's it like to learn that you descend from a white man who was actively involved in killing the Cherokee people?
Is there a setup for his insurance? Okay, because that would mean he would need to enroll into a medical insurance. Yeah.
Well, it's not pleasant, but you know, you have to accept what is. On the other hand, I'm married to a settler woman, right?
Yeah.
So, wow.
So we trying to
I think I'll take about a week off.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And you get a lot to think about.
Yeah.
He's married to a what woman?
I don't know.
We had one more story to share regarding Wes's newfound ancestors, a far happier one. Following a different branch of the Blair family tree, we came to Wes's sixth great-grandmother, a woman named Nayehi. Nayehi is a beloved figure in Cherokee history, celebrated as both a warrior and a stateswoman. And Wes was delighted to discover their connection. Isn't that amazing? She was grandma.
Sixth grandmother.
Yes.
Same thing that we
Great-great-great-great-great-grandma. Direct. We have DNA from her. Nayehi was born in the late 1730s. As a teenager, she was given the title of War Woman for picking up her dead husband's rifle and leading the Cherokee to a victory over the Creek Nation. This title gave her a powerful political role within her tribe, and Nayehi made the most of it, eventually leading negotiations with the United States government in the hopes of retaining her people's land. Her efforts were futile, but she left behind a remarkable testament to her vision.
We know the white people are more and stronger than us. But will you take everything from us and let us starve? We did never concern in the former treaty, which has been broken, but we do in this. You know women are always looked upon as nothing, but we are your mothers. You are our sons. Our cry is all for peace. Let it continue, because we are your mothers.
Those are your sixth great-grandma's actual words. She could speak. She could speak. Throughout her life, Nayehi worked towards peace between her people and the Americans, urging both sides to see themselves as one people in the land that they now inevitably would share forever. But she consistently insisted that the Cherokee people had a right to their own homelands, and her challenge to white land hunger grew with increased pressure on Cherokee territories. She died sometime between 1822 and 1824 in present-day Benton, Tennessee. Unless you have a lot of information to process.
And some influential people in my background.
What does it mean to you to be descended from her in particular? I mean, this woman was a major hero.
Well, it's illuminating, and I think what it really makes me think of is how tough our women were. And everybody's afraid of women more than they were afraid of the men. You know? And that's the kind of world that I was born into. You know?
A world of tough women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ones that could outwork men.
Right.
So, it's all thought-provoking to say the least.
It is.
Right?
Turning back to LeVar Burton, we shifted from his mother's roots to his father's, where we confronted a blank slate. LeVar's father essentially disappeared when LeVar was 11 years old, and the two men have had very limited contact ever since. As a result, LeVar knows almost nothing about the Burton side of his family tree. So we set out to change that. And we discovered that father and son actually have a great deal in common. The story begins in Cherry Valley, Arkansas, where LeVar's father was born in 1934. His parents, LeVar's grandparents, were Versi Bowdry and Aaron Burton. And they seem to have had a tumultuous relationship. In fact, census records show that by 1940, Aaron was married to another woman. So you never heard anything at all?
No.
You didn't know these people existed?
No. I think the name Aaron Burton I've heard before, but I had no real concept of where he was in the lineage.
Well, we assume that your grandparents divorced, but we didn't find a record of that. So
Sure.
we don't know.
Yeah.
But your father was 5 years old when that census was taken.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Your parents divorced when you were 11. What's it like to see that happen with your father's parents?
The cycles do repeat themselves, don't they?
Cycles repeat, yeah.
Wow.
This was not the only cycle that repeated down through the branches of the Burton family tree. Indeed, the 1940 census for Arkansas shows that LeVar and his father's ancestors share something truly profound.
Aaron C. Burton, head of household, Negro, age 27, born in Arkansas. Occupation, school superintendent. Grammar school. Salary, $350.
Yeah.
Evelyn Burton, wife, Negro, age 28. Pearl B. Burton, father, Negro, age 60, birthplace, Arkansas. Occupation,
116960. You put another one in.
So you just met your great-grandfather.
116960.
Yeah. Pearl B. Burton. And he and your grandfather worked in education.
Both school superintendents.
Both father and son school superintendents.
One for grammar school and another for junior, the other for junior high school.
How's that make you feel?
It fills me with great pride that I have inherited this mantle of educator.
Yeah.
Really, honestly.
You come from educators on both sides. That's pretty cool.
Okay. I'm very proud of that.
You just opened the door, and the whole room was on the other side of the wall, you know?
No kidding. My reality just shifted.
Yeah, because you thought all of these attributes you got from your
From my
mom.
mom.
Yeah.
Best deal.
Records show that LeVar's great-grandfather, Pearl, spent almost his entire adult life working in schools. He was even the principal and co-founder of a public school for African-American children in Osceola, Arkansas, an institution that he helped open at a time when roughly 20% of the state's black population was illiterate.
No idea.
No.
I was just...
You inherited from this invisible presence in your life. A guy who disappears when you're 11. But all of that educational heritage came with him.
Came with him.
Yeah. He left, but it didn't.
It did.
Isn't that extraordinary?
I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
I can't even explain how it feels to get this information. It's like there have been pieces of me that have been missing. They've always been out there somewhere.
Yeah.
But, you know, black people don't share family stories.
No.
We're really hesitant. I couldn't pry information out of my mother. She was always so insistent that we not know about the trials and tribulations that she went through.
Of course. She was trying to protect
She was trying to protect us, yes, of course, but it leaves us in the dark about who we are.
Yeah, it does.
This information is stuff that we need in order to feel home.
It does. Yeah, you do need it.
Whew. This is gonna reverberate for a while.
And of course, it's forever.
So powerful.
This story was about to take a twist. Seeking to learn more about Pearl Burton, we turned back to the paper trail, where we discovered that his father, a man named Hal Burton, had a very complicated life.
Hal Burton Cullen is a gay Lotharian has caused the hearts of many jealous husbands to beat with anguish on account of attentions shown their wives by Hal. Last night, Hal and the wife of one of John Williams were taking a promenade in the West End when they were discovered by the irate husband, and he seized a club and proceeded to give Burton a beating. Both parties were arrested and will be fined for the disturbance raised. God, this dog! So the dog is inherited too.
Papa was a Rolling Stone.
A gay Lothario,
Yeah.
in the vernacular of the day.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, my dad would say, well, he came by naturally.
Came by it naturally.
Your great-great-grandfather had a reputation as a ladies' man. What's it like to learn that? Could you ever have imagined? I mean, you can't make this stuff
No,
up,
you
right?
cannot. No, you cannot.
We had one more detail to share with LeVar. Another facet of Hal Burton that was almost impossible to believe. In 1867, just 2 years after the end of the Civil War, the Reconstruction Acts gave African American men in the occupied former Confederate states the right to vote. Just 1 year later, black men were elected to state office in Arkansas for the very first time. It was the beginning of a wave of black political representation, and LeVar's ancestor was a part of it. In 1886, he became a representative in the Arkansas General Assembly.
He was one of those Negro politicians.
That's right.
During Reconstruction.
Yeah.
That was elected into office. He was, in spite of his philandering, he was popular enough to get elected to public office.
Yeah, the women couldn't vote. Remember? How does it make you feel? Not only do you have 2 generations of superintendents,
Yes.
you got literacy going back at least to 1880, and you have someone who was elected to represent the black community. Your father's family was extraordinary.
Never in a million years would I ever have imagined that we would find information like this in my family. It's overwhelming. It's overwhelming.
Hal's career as a legislator began with great promise. He proposed a bill to fight racial discrimination. But he faced steep resistance from white politicians, intent on rolling back the gains of Reconstruction by implementing laws specifically designed to suppress the black vote. These laws would prove devastatingly effective, and Hal would serve only 1 term. There's no evidence that he ever ran for re-election because, it wasn't going to happen.
No.
But even so, Hal didn't slow down. Please turn the page. LeVar, this is a page from the 1910 census for Pine Bluff, Arkansas. This is 23 years after Hal's time as a legislator. Would you please read that transcribed portion?
Al Burton, head of household, black, age 56, married for 9 years, born Arkansas. Lucy Burton, wife, black, age 44, occupation sewing. Mattie, daughter, black, age 9. Helen, daughter, black, age 7.
There is your great-great-grandfather Hal, living with his 3rd wife, whose name is Lucy, and their 2 daughters.
Right?
After his time as a legislator, your ancestor worked as a merchant, then he managed a saloon, and then he turned to farming. And that census is the last record we have of your great-great-grandfather. He likely died sometime between 1910 and 1920 in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He sounds like a very energetic, imaginative man.
Does indeed.
Yeah. Now, LeVar, does learning about all this about your father's roots change anything about the way you see your father and the way you imagine your relationship?
It does. I feel like for the first time in my life, we have something in common. And I feel like I want to share it.
We'd already traced Wes Studi's paternal roots back to a heroine of the Cherokee Nation. Now, turning to his mother's ancestry, we focused on an event that transformed every family in that nation. The Trail of Tears, the forced removal beginning in 1830 that drove roughly 60,000 native people from their homes in the eastern United States to unknown territory in the West. It's a tragedy that Wes has long struggled to comprehend. So when did you learn about the Trail of Tears? How old were you?
High school. I would have been 13, 14 years old.
Do you remember what your reaction was?
Shameful. I was ashamed that it had happened to us that way. You know, I felt I was ashamed of it. How did we let that happen? Is my reaction.
Wes told me that these feelings ultimately evolved into a kind of curiosity. He studied the Trail of Tears in detail, even reading first-hand accounts written by survivors. But the names of his own ancestors who had endured the ordeal had been lost, and at first we couldn't find them either. Then, one of our researchers uncovered an application for Cherokee membership filed by Wes's great-grandmother in Oklahoma in 1906. It lists the names of Wes's family all the way back to the early 1800s. Places them in a very significant location.
Nancy Ketchum, grandmother. Where were they born? In the Cherokee Nation state of Georgia.
In the Cherokee Nation state of Georgia. Wes, you just met your maternal third great-grandmother, brother, your great-great-great-grandmother. Her name was Nancy Ketchum, also known as Big Nancy. You ever hear of her? And you notice where she was born?
Yeah.
Learning Nancy's birthplace unlocked the story of how she experienced the Trail of Tears, leading us to a claim that she submitted to the United States government in 1842. Thousands of claims like this one were filed by indigenous people, seeking compensation for what had been taken from them by white settlers.
One steer, 3 years old, 2 yearlings, 1 horse, whole amount, $187.
What's it like to see this in black and white? You know about it in the abstract, but what's it like to see an actual case involving your actual answers and what she actually lost?
Goodness.
Well, it pisses me off. It always has.
Okay. I don't even know if anybody's in here anymore.
Now I know where it was.
Thank you all. Hope you all have a good rest of your day and night, whatever time zone.
I'm sure they are.
Might be worth a trip.
I was bombarded. Now
Nancy's claim
I
not
must
only
go.
describes the property
So I'll just talk to y'all tomorrow.